Classic Gamer here, and today I'm going to rant about rant videos. Specifically the 3DS rant videos, which are coming in like plethoras everywhere, and it's just kind of ridiculous. There's a lot of hate going around for the system, and a lot of people don't realize that it's still really early in the 3DS's lifetime. So I'm going to be taking their negatives and putting my own positives, or throwing positives at them. A lot of these reviews are going to come from YouTubers, so I will put their names in the credits so that they get credit for it. And we might not expect like a true, fully heartfelt review that takes all the goods and the bad, since this is YouTube we were talking about, and these are reviewers from YouTube that we're talking about. So let's see our first reviewer. I'm not here to make fun of them or their actions. I'm just here to listen to their arguments. Let's go. I will agree that $250 for a portable device is pretty steep. But the PS Vita is doing the exact same thing. It's like vice versa. It's like all the Sony boys are like, yay, and all the Nintendo fans boys are like, that's way too expensive. Seriously, guys, calm down. I know you love your systems, but $250 for both of them is kind of ridiculous. Yes, my username is 64 Super Mario Returns, and yes, I am a Nintendo fanboy, but I still thought it was kind of ridiculous. And I am not going to judge the PS Vita in this entire review, because I can't. I haven't been able to hold it. I don't really know what its library or its launch is going to be like, so judging a system like early in its lifetime, or at its launch even, is ridiculous. The price drop did get dropped down to $169 though, and that's a little bit more understandable, and that's a little bit more my price range, so I like that right now, so I'm cool with that. So this issue doesn't really apply anymore, so let's see what his next issue is.
Is full. Now called the boss.
Are you being serious right now, man? I hate this generation of gamers so much. Just because if a console doesn't play Call of Duty, it's not a good system. Or if it doesn't play it like Call of Duty the best online or whatever, it's not a good system. That's ridiculous. There are so many other good games that are not Call of Duty. And I like Call of Duty Modern Warfare too, and Call of Duty Modern Warfare, but god damn it, it's not the greatest video game of all time. It's a good video game. I'll admit that. It's a good video game. But it's not the greatest thing in the world. My personal favorite video game of all time is Majora's Mask. And I'm sure you guys have your own personal video game choice. But seeing all these people that are like, oh, Call of Duty is the greatest game of all time. You know what? I know a good original shooter franchise, and that's called the Time Splitters. The Time Splitters guys are the guys that worked on GoldenEye 64. And if Call of Duty is the only shooter that you've ever played, you really shouldn't say that that's the best shooter of all time. I know GoldenEye 64 is considered the best shooter of all time, so it was the first to come out, and it was so revolutionary, and it got all these people together around the 64 to play. But I'm still going to have to go with Time Splitters as the best shooter. Time Splitters 2 and 3, I can't decide between them. So what am I trying to say right now? Call of Duty, stop using it as an argument, and go fucking play it on your PS3. And one more thing, seriously. Are you going to play your 3DS version of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 over your PS3 version of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3? I don't think so. No true Call of Duty fan is going to play their Call of Duty on a DS, a PSP, or a phone. They're going to go play it on an actual console. And the 3DS and the PS Vita are consoles, and I don't really want to say that they're not consoles, but a lot of Call of Duty fans don't consider the portables as actual consoles. So please stop using Call of Duty as an argument. It's a stupid argument, and you shouldn't use it. In fact, as a Nintendo fan, you shouldn't say, that console sucks because it doesn't have Zelda. Yeah, Zelda is awesome, but you shouldn't use it as an argument. It's just ridiculous. Consoles are all great in their own way, and you have to actually play and go through their library to see what makes those consoles so special.
It's sad. It's really sad that Nintendo has just stooped down to this level, to this degree. You know, Nintendo used to be a great company. Back back in the days, the Nintendo 64 was the shit. It was the best system ever made, and it had the best games. You know, we had Legend of Zelda, you know, we had GoldenEye, we had Turok 2.
In America, the 64 only had 2 release titles. That was Super Mario 64 and Pilot Wings. In Europe, they only had 2 additional ones, including those 2, and that was Turok and Star Wars: Shadows of the Empire. Once again, it's too early to be judging this system, based on its library especially. You have to wait. And Zelda? You can't use that as an argument. Zelda came out 2 years after the 64 was released. Nintendo pushes out great games, but you have to be more patient. That is a big problem, is that a lot of gamers today are not patient. The fact of the matter is Nintendo is trying something new. They shouldn't be attacked just because they're trying something different. Every time Nintendo tries something different for gaming, everybody has to attack them. People get mad about the Wii because it brought in motion gaming. Yeah, and that was such a bad idea because Sony and Microsoft didn't try the exact same concept later. Getting mad at the 3DS for trying something different would be like getting mad at the 64 for trying to go to 64-bit instead of going to 32-bit instead. Oh, we go to 8-bit, 60-bit, 64-bit. What the hell is this? Also, if you don't like the 3D function, there's a nice little slider button that gets rid of the 3D. The 3DS is not just a DS with 3D. The 3DS is graphically more capable, and if the gyro sensor is used correctly, it can be used for a lot of creative things. The hardware is easier for them to update, and it'll be easier for us as gamers to communicate with each other, especially with the new swap note thing. And I know I'm bringing up a lot of things that are coming out in the future, but once again, it's still way too early. A year is not enough. It's not even a year yet. March will be a year, and a ton of games will be out by then.
It's free.
I'm done with you. Oh, okay, wait. No. What is up with all these reviews using this kind of music? We're not having a dance-off. We're not trying to be gangster. We're talking about video games. Well, look at my intro. Yeah, it doesn't come from a video game, but it sounds like it should be from a video game, and it's actually in a video game that I'm working on. And my old intro was Gruntilda's music remixed. What am I trying to say? Use music that works or don't use music at all. Wow, I am getting really angry in this review. Review. This isn't a review. It's a rant. Well, since I'm at his first part of the video, might as well see what his argument is.
The price of the 3DS, it does a lot more than the 3DS could ever do.
Hardware is one thing, but if a console doesn't have the library to back it up, then there's no point. In fact, there's not been a game for the 3DS. I can assure you, there's not a game for the 3DS that has been using the 3DS's full potential. There won't be a game that uses the PS Vita's full potential until later in its lifetime. I will assure you of this. Well, I can't assure you of this, but I can 90% guarantee it. So until a few years, until both systems have an actual library, please stop the hating. It's just annoying. And yes, that does mean stop with the PS Vita hating too. We haven't actually held that system in our hand. Well, most of us haven't. So please do not talk crap about it until you've actually held it and given it time to develop games.
PlayStation Vita, aka the EGP, has been announced. The price is $250, which is the same as 3DS, which is amazing because I think it was a really smart move on Sony's behalf.
No, the price is still too high. The price for the 3DS was too high, and I've admitted that. And the price for the PS Vita is still too high. Wait a minute. Oh my god, this kid has a 3-part review on why the 3DS sucks. Jesus, what was the third video? Just him saying the 3DS sucks 100 times? How do you find this much information? Are you just repeating the same thing? I'm sorry, back to the 3DS. Next person, please.
I don't like the new 3DS. I think everybody should not upgrade. Definitely do not upgrade to the 3DS. Just because of the sheer fact of it being not 3D.
Okay. The 3D on the 3DS is about depth. You're supposed to be able to tell how far away something is and how close they are. Not everything has to pop out at you. If every game implemented the kind of feeling that it had to pop out at you, that would be really annoying. I can barely stand that in movies. A good example of this 3D depth is the Nintendogs game. Like, just go to like the regular room, turn up the slider, and you can definitely tell the difference. You can tell how far away something is. You can feel like you're going to jump into that world. That's what the 3D is about. Just because it doesn't pop out at you doesn't make it not 3D. Okay, I'm done with this kid. Next person.
3DS drops $250. What the fuck is Nintendo thinking? Who pays $250 for a handheld? PS Vita drops $250. This is amazing. This is the perfect price that I wanted. This is exactly what I wanted to pay for a handheld.
Okay, this guy's hilarious. Never mind. Okay, let's look at somebody who has more views and I guess should be more credible.
Now the reason Americans probably bought it is because kids were screaming and wanting it, and then the parents were like, oh, pull out my credit card because I don't have the money for it.
Children only buy Nintendo products? Oh, first off, if you say that Nintendo games are only for little kids, I do not consider you an actual gamer. There is a difference between hardcore, casual, and gamer. Hardcore people are people that play for a large amount of time and play the exact same, well, not the same game, but the same type of game. They get really good at it and they put a ton of hours into this one type of game. What I'm mostly going at is shooters, obviously. And these people think they're so hardcore that they can play any video game ever. And really, if they play any other video game, they'd probably get their ass handed to them. Casual gamers are those ones that don't put a lot of time into it, but they can go into any game just like, oh, play, done, goodbye. Now, an actual gamer is not judgmental about any game. They'll go into the game open-minded, try to enjoy it. If they enjoy it, they do. If they don't, it's okay. They're not extremely crucial. They're not people that are like, hate. They try to give a game a full review. They try to enjoy it as much as they possibly can. And actual gamers put a ton of time into their games too. They don't put a lot of time into one specific kind of game. They put a lot of time into a bunch of different games. And if you're too hardcore to be playing Super Mario Galaxy 2 or Metroid or whatever, Legend of Zelda, well, too bad for you. You're missing out on a few great games. Heck, almost all of my favorite games on top 10 would be considered childish to you. And I'm kind of getting tired of realism, actually. I like to go into worlds that I can't actually experience. I know it's different for everybody, but that's just how I feel. What can you take away from this video? The 3DS is still early in its lifetime. Stop with your hating on the 3DS and the PS Vita. They're early in their life, and PS Vita is not even out yet, so there's no reason to say, oh, it's the greatest, oh, it's horrible. The people that do angry rants about these are kind of clueless. You can consider me clueless. You don't know who I am. You don't know what I know. Also, just because you're a hardcore doesn't actually make you a gamer. It can make you annoying. Nintendo isn't just for kids, just like Call of Duty isn't just for adults. Take this kid, for example.
So when I shoot, you'll die!
And this guy.
Who put the fucking claymore there? Holy shit, what the fuck?
Classic. This is Classic Gamer, powering off.